Hello, everyone, and welcome to another BrickSide chat. This is episode 20, and thank you so much for coming out to watch this video. Last week we didn't do one because we didn't really have enough questions, but this week we have a bunch and are ready to go. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. First up, we have a question from Ennis Lloyd, who says, is your wall sorted by types of parts, or is it random? And this is a question we actually get a lot down in the comments, and it is random. This is because we use both a barcode and the numerical system to track our orders, so to track our parts. So there's really no need to go through and organize them by piece type, as we basically just get a printout that has a list of what drawer and what part, and we just start at one end and then just go down the hall. So really no need to organize it. Next up, we have a question from Action Figure Films, who says, where do we get the big tubs that we keep our minifigs and big bricks in? And we get those from Target. You can probably buy them at Walmart or other similar outlet type stores. They're usually really cheap. We get ours for like 99 cents. Price may vary where you are, but you can usually just buy them in bulk right there, and it's really cheap and easy. Next up, we have a question from Zifra, who says, do you recommend buying a variety of themes or just buying a bunch of one theme do just as well for starting a new store? Personally, we recommend a variety, but not to such an extreme that you're only buying one set, one lot of each set. Rather, go ahead and buy a couple. We here buy 8 usually of each set. Obviously, that number might be different for you, but don't just buy one, because then you're only going to have one part in a single drawer, and that's a complete waste of inventory space. But also, don't buy like 100 of the same set, because then your store won't have any diversity, and you won't get as many buyers. And then Zifra also had another question, which is, do you think it's a bad idea to sit on sets for too long? I'm starting a new store, and I was wondering whether I should go ahead and open it with a low inventory and add more parts frequently, or is it totally fine to go ahead and get a good inventory going before opening the store for the first time? And I would say somewhere in the middle. You definitely want to open with a decent amount of pieces. Only having like 2 pieces, obviously you're not going to sell those 2 pieces because you don't really have very many lots in your store. But also, don't go ahead and do everything just at once, because then you could get bought out really easily and you're not going to have anything to stock it. So go ahead and find a nice middle ground, but I would argue more on the side of having more parts in your inventory. After Zifra, we have a question from Zachary Van Dyke, who says, can you still use PayPal to print out the shipping label if you use instant checkout? And the answer to that question is yes. Just go ahead and make sure that everything in PayPal is configured properly and that all of your purchases go through PayPal, and you should be totally fine. Nick Philpott asks, have you looked into going extra green and switching to paper bags? I've considered this, but I'm not sure whether or not it's economic and financial. Those words mean the same thing. So, Nick, we've never really considered it until we read your question, of course, and I would say that economical, probably. Paper's not really that expensive, but the concern here is paper might rip very easily. You're dealing with sharp objects with lots of pointy edges, and they might rip during shipment. And we already offer an eco-friendly option, which consolidates everything into one bag, and those bags are recyclable, so hopefully people are recycling those. But for a paper bag, it's probably not worth it. But you can go ahead and run a test run and get back to us on that. If it ends up working, we'd totally love to look into it. And then Will Harper, do you need 10 feedback before you can open the store? That is false. You do not need 10 feedback, and you only need 1. So go out, commit some purchases, and get some feedback. They just want to make sure that you are a real account and not just a scam. Next up, we have TGTI. This is our last question. TGTI68, who asks about taxes. And I can't give you a very descriptive answer because here in the United States, it is very difficult to give tax advice without being certified. Evan's going to be doing a whole video on that at some point in the future once we figure out what we can and can't say. But as a bottom line, our understanding, and this could be wrong, could 100% be wrong, is that you only have to charge sales tax for transactions that happen in your state. So if we're selling to somebody in Alabama, we live in California, we don't have to pay taxes, we think. If we are selling to somebody else in California, we have to pay those state taxes. Once again, we could be wrong, and there'll be a more detailed advice, but as always, ask a tax person. It's their job, and they'll give you a way better answer. So that has been BrickSide Chat. We've got a couple good things coming in the pipeline for you. I know Evan's going to be building a set at some point in the future, and of course, I have several more sets that I want to build. So do be aware that we are doing those streams. If you've missed the last ones, no worries. We're going to try and do more in the future. So thank you for watching, and if you are a patron on our Patreon, please go ahead and support that. If you want to join our Discord, please do so. We're really trying to bolster our community there, and we'd love to have you. Thank you. Hit that bell, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.